Every night, I waited for my parents' room to close shut. After I made sure they were asleep, I opened the fridge and took out the leftover cake from dinner, a few bags of chips, and 10 Snicker bars my mom had bought the day before. In my room, I started with the cake, and from then on, my mind was blank. I was eating food after food without any thoughts crossing my mind. Ignoring the signs of my body telling me I was full, I forced more food down my throat. I was on autopilot. Soon enough, all around me were piles of empty plates, chip bags, and Snicker wrappers. I dragged myself to the bathroom and stood on the scale as I did religiously. The number on the scale was bigger than I've ever seen before, and it was terrifying. The person in the mirror was telling me I looked ugly and disgusting. Regret, shame, and embarrassment swept my body as I kneeled in front of the toilet seat. Little did I know these were symptoms of bulimia and binge eating. Good morning, everyone. My name is Jae Eun. I'm a sophomore from Concordia, and I'm honored to be able to share my experience and spread awareness about eating disorders to you today. Similar to me, millions of people worldwide suffer from eating disorders. So what are eating disorders? By the DSM-5, they are a persistent disturbance of eating patterns that negatively affect your relationship with food and body image. There are three most widely known types of eating disorders: anorexia, bulimia, and binge eating. To put it in short, anorexia is the extreme restriction of food. Bulimia is the use of compensatory behaviors such as self-induced vomiting after binging episodes, and binge eating is the recurrent behavior of excessive overeating in a short period. People with eating disorders have excessive thoughts on food and body image, and they often have a hard time controlling their food consumption. The social presence of eating disorders has risen greatly in our chaotic society because of media. Media is yet the most powerful platform anyone can access today. And because of this, eating disorder rates have skyrocketed in our chaotic society. Nowadays, 60% of the world suffer from negative body image, and 1 in 10 people are diagnosed with an eating disorder. But considering the fact that only a small percentage of people actually get diagnosed, the real number of people with eating disorders today is unpredictably large. They have become too common and too normalized. In a way, they're dismissed because of how common they are. So, why media? What effect does media have that makes me say that they're responsible for eating disorders? Social media has made us compare ourselves to the heavily photoshopped bodies behind the screens. The number of interactions and the praising comments on a post have manipulated our minds into thinking that only certain bodies will ever be accepted. They have changed the way we seek validation and distorted our perception of our own bodies. So what it really boils down to is how we perceive our bodies relative to what we see online. It really is just in our minds. Why should society define what beauty is? Why should I allow our society to tell me how I should look? What's so hard about being satisfied about my body? Why can't I just eat normally, and why do I need to count calories? I'd ask myself these simple questions but never actually be able to answer them. I just cycle back to my unhealthy pattern of almost begging for my food and cravings without listening to my body. This made me wonder if my perspective on food needed to change, and it was time to revisit what food really means. By definition, food is nutrients we absorb in order to maintain life and growth. Food makes up our bodies, and it's the sole reason we're able to breathe this very second. Connected to food, something I think about non-stop are calories. I'm always hesitant to eat anything, and it takes so long to pick what I have off the shelf to see if it's really worth the calories. But in reality, food gives us life, and calories give us energy. Yes, it's true that lower calories mean weight loss, but lower calories also mean we won't have enough energy to function normally through the day. Calories are so important that there's even a suggested number we have to take every day. Food and calories go hand in hand, and they help keep us alive and function normally. And if we think about it, our bodies are just an accumulation of the food we consume. Cells in our bodies are regenerating every second with the building blocks we put into our bodies, which is food. All the nutrients go into forming parts of our bodies, making us healthier and stronger day by day. The food on our plate isn't a substance, it isn't a commodity, it's the life-making material for us. Instead of perceiving food as something we simply take in, we can try thinking of food as something that becomes a part of ourselves. If we change the way we perceive food like this, we can't possibly abuse food intake, and we would always have to be thankful and careful for what we eat and how we eat. Abusing food is something I really struggle with. Even during my ongoing recovery, I would have such a hard time controlling the amount of food I have. After going through several stages of severely restricting my food intake, I would go on non-stop binging episodes where I'm not even thinking about what I'm stuffing down my throat and obviously not listening to my body. Nowadays, something I try to keep in mind is intuitive eating. Intuitive eating is as it sounds, eating intuitively. When we're hungry, we honor our hunger by eating, and when we're full, we listen to our bodies telling us we're satisfied and we just don't eat. It's simply a matter of listening to our bodies and feeling the benefits of nourishing ourselves properly. But in the process of going through eating disorders, realizing this rather obvious healthy eating pattern is quite difficult. Even if you keep this in mind, if you're deeply immersed in an unhealthy cycle, it's so hard to break out of it. But sometimes we just need a reminder to tell us how we're doing. Simply just feeling how agile and active our body feels after eating food is all it takes to eat intuitively. Throughout my journey, I often found myself frowning at the mirror after looking at some famous celebrity. I thought I didn't fit the society's beauty standards and that really got the best of me. But who really cares, right? Because it's my life, I have full power over the way I choose to think about myself and what beauty really is. Going through recovery, I thought I was pathetic for falling into a trap made by my mind. But this is completely normal. When we're stuck in a loop of negative thinking and don't know how to break out of it, it's so important for us to acknowledge and accept the negative thoughts we're having. When we grow and develop, it's natural for our bodies to change, and it's natural for us to be concerned about it. So knowing where our headspace is at can really help calm down our confused emotions. Whether it be one negative thought about your body or a whole diagnosis of eating disorders, as the issue of negative body image is rapidly increasing, it's important that eating disorders is something that should be more talked about. So when you see yourself having these negative thoughts, try reaching out to someone that you trust. Simply just talking about it and knowing that someone has your back can help you clear your negative thoughts and navigate where you can start with your recovery. Lastly, try thinking about your thoughts yourself. Whether it be by writing it down or just simply thinking about it, if you try digging into your innermost thoughts and feelings, you can identify what's driving your negative thoughts and emotions. Every step of the way, there will be times where you fall down again. But it's not about how fast you get there, it's about the process and how much you come to understand your body's needs. I still sometimes have trouble understanding my body, but I can come to peace with it because I have learned to love and appreciate it as it is. Our bodies do so much for us every day, so why should I be ashamed or upset about it, right? I no longer eat without thinking or kneel in comfortability because I have learned to listen to my body. My journey still continues, and you too are not alone in this. And most of all, no matter what anyone says, we are